Oh, in 1988, two of our next three guests took us to the fantastical world of Nockmaar, where we met the sorcerer Willow Ufgood and the warrior Sorsha, who took on the evil Bavmorda in Willow. The other watched it a bunch as a kid. Now all three are back with a brand new series coming to Disney+. Please welcome to the stage Warwick Davis, Joanne Whaley, and executive producer and writer John Kasdan.
Wow.
I am overwhelmed. My heart is 3 sizes too big from that trailer. I have waited 34 years. How does it feel to be back?
It's incredible. I mean, it's thanks to many people in this room, apart from John, that we're here doing this, because they're the fans who have kept this alive all these years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Joanne, how does it feeling for you?
Well, I just can't believe it. It's so, I never thought I would ever see this day. I heard rumblings over the years and just nothing ever came of it. And I thought, oh, well, maybe it would kind of be a shame to have to go back. And then when this came up, and the scripts are so good, and it's unbelievable. I'm like, yes, please. Like, I'm so thrilled to be here. It's unbelievable.
And, you know, speaking of these scripts and coming back, John, I know this is something that you have been wanting to do for so long.
Absolutely. And I mean, I was texting you last night about this. I feel like we were on a chat. I was wandering around downtown Disney, and Anthony was like commenting on my Instagram post. I was like, have you seen the trailer yet? He's like, not yet. But I've been waiting 34 years for it.
Well, I feel like even when we were talking about Solo, you and I got into a discussion about Willow, because this thing is such a cult classic. People are so in love with this. This is one of the films, my sister and I, we wore out videotapes. Videotapes are what movies would come on before the internet. What did it take to kind of get this to come back? How did it happen?
I'll tell you a funny story about that, which is that the first time we were on the Solo set, I met Warwick. I wanted to be introduced. I knew he was there. We were in the Canary Islands. I went up to him. I said, Warwick, I'm going to convince them to do a Willow series. It's going to be great. He looked at me like, yeah, I've been talking about this for years. I said, great. We're both going to do it. Fantastic. I walked away. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to convince anyone to do that. And then,
and I feel like you turned around,
like,
Warwick,
now I'm going to have to tell Warwick that like I couldn't do it. And then Ron Howard came and worked with us on Solo, and it was like everything came together. Ron, Warwick, myself, we pushed it through, and before we knew it, we were on set. I was calling Joanne saying, like, you're coming back. We're making a true sequel. And one of the fun things about this, you know, I'm as big a Star Wars fan as anyone in the world. I'm excited for Andor. I'm excited for all these things. But with Willow, we got the opportunity to truly make a sequel and to see what happens to these characters, where those adventures go, what threats are still out there in the world from the movie, and who's going to have to face them and answer the question, what happened to Elora Danan?
Yes.
And John did such a great job with the scripts. I mean, you know, the original movie, think about it, it's very funny, a lot of comedy, and John brought all that to the series as well. So it's not only magical and adventurous, but it's funny as well.
Yeah. What do you think it was about the original Willow that people really just loved and latched onto? Because you said it was funny. I remember some dark moments really stuck with me as a kid, but like in a good way. What do you think it is about Willow that people love?
I think it was the charming lead actor.
Okay. All right. Joanne, what do you think it was about Willow that people love?
Well, I mean, think of the movie. There were so many great characters. There was somebody everyone could identify with in there. It was a great adventure as well. And we all want a bit of escapism, which is exactly what Willow offered.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. Joanne, what was it about the original Willow that you loved?
I don't know. I don't think you can ever second guess these things. I mean, except to say that it's kind of a classic. You know, if you look at like Grimm's fairy tales and all the old folk tales, it has all the same elements, all the archetypes, the good and evil, the goodness that prevails, the families, the values, and it has all those ingredients that are in all those folk tales worldwide. And it's funny, and it was epic. And, and then, so who knows? I mean, people really...
And Mad Mardigan.
And Mad Mardigan.
I mean, we can't say enough about Mad Mardigan, and he's a huge part of this story and this series. And we knew we wanted to... Val has been in communication with Joanne and I, and Mad Mardigan is a character in the story. And while we didn't get to shoot with him on season 1, we've made him a major figure in the story. And Joanne, I think, were you talking to him today?
Yeah, no, last night. I was sick because I was letting him know that I was coming today, and I said, I think there's going to be like fans there who love Willow and things, and they know they're going to want to hear something from you. And he was just so touched that there's such love for this project and his character, Mad Mardigan, and he just would be here if he could, but he can't make it today.
Let's show some celebration love for Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Let's hear it for Val Kilmer. And we do promise there is only one Mad Mardigan in the universe, and it is Val Kilmer.
Wonderful. I love to hear it. Talking about these classic characters, let's talk about how they've changed, right? Like, I definitely saw a gravity and a seriousness in Willow Ufgood that we probably did not see in that original.
No, it's nice. I mean, I'm a lot older now, and I certainly feel it. So it's nice to go back and visit the character again. Now I'm older and wiser myself. And John has written him in such a way now he's older. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders in this series, a lot of responsibility, and he doesn't really carry it well. He's still reluctant, basically, to be doing this.
Yeah.
So for me, there was a lot more kind of meat to the character. So it was a privilege to go back and do this again. It really was.
I love this as, Willow in the first one was being escorted by these very serious adventurers that understood the world. And now to see Willow kind of ushering what looks like a band of younger adventurers through this same world is really wonderful to see.
Yeah, and believe me, I mean, when you're an actor of my age now, having all these young actors come in and work with you makes you feel a lot older. Trying to keep up with them, I mean, just the banter on set. I was like, guys, just slow down a minute. I'm trying to focus here. Honestly. I was just speaking with Harrison Ford just now, and...
You've heard of him? You've heard of Harrison Ford? Okay.
A good name drop, that, wasn't it? But, I mean, we were both kind of reflecting on the fact that we're a lot older, revisiting the same characters and how it feels. It feels good, and it's lovely when you get such a great response from the audience, because it makes all the effort you've made worthwhile.
It was so funny. Warwick and Harrison were talking backstage when we were doing our presentation, and I was like, excuse me, guys, I need to get a picture of the two of you. Because to see those two legends just standing there like, yeah, we're back. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Just chilling in the back, just like, yeah, it's just us. It's not a big deal. No big deal. How did it feel for you, John, kind of coming in? I mean, the last few years for you, you've been walking around in this galaxy, in this Star Wars universe, and now you are sort of bringing life into another universe that George Lucas created. What was it like to sort of come back?
It's such a gift. It's one that George loves. It's always been one of his favorite things, and he's always been determined to make more Willow. And when I heard that, and when I heard it from Kathy, I thought, this is an opportunity. No one's better than Warwick. No one is more of a movie star than Warwick. And I thought we had the pieces to make it happen.
Yeah.
And we put him with some annoying young kids that can bother him for a little while. Like, who wouldn't watch that? So we figured that out, and we found a great cast to sort of follow Warwick and keep up that idea that he is like a dad who has to care for a bunch of people who don't usually do what he tells them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know, Warwick, you've been kind of navigating through this Lucasfilm universe for the last 40 years. Joanne, you're kind of stepping back in after a little bit. What does it feel like to kind of come back to this sort of film and this sort of like approach to filmmaking?
Well, I just had the best time doing this. And even coming here today, I was a bit kind of nervous. Like this morning, I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be so... But what's really, I was saying to Warwick, literally, before we came over to this building, that it's so incredible that this big thing happens that is actually about the fans, and that the fans actually do have power, and that their influence is hugely important. So, and that there's a place where that all happens, and they can, you know, and it's really nice for the actors to get to meet some fans, because unless you're doing a play in the theater, you never would have that opportunity. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to, even though it's a big, scary thing, when you're thinking about it as an actor, thinking, oh my God, I've got to go and do a press thing, it's actually been an absolute pleasure.
These people are absolute sweethearts, and I can tell you that they are huge fans of Willow, and that we are so excited to see you all back and to see this series happen. Thank you so much, the three of you, for coming by, and thank you. Literally, I've been waiting for 34 years. Thank you for coming back and making
Welcome.
more Willow. Let's take one more look at this Willow trailer. It is so wonderful. We have more from Star Wars Celebration Live coming up after.